Hails from Captain Pike, sir.
It's the U.S.S.Enterprise.
In the premiere, you see the Enterprise, but you're never inside the bridge of the Enterprise. I think we felt that we owed that to the audience, that they would feel a little dissatisfied if they had gone through the whole season and only seen it from the exterior.
The Enterprise has been a long process. So it came up last year, and the actual design work in terms of what I had to put out, we did over a year ago. And we kind of kept getting, no, you're not building it, you're not building it. And then finally, at basically the 11th hour, okay, we need the Enterprise. We've been scrambling, and it's being built, and it's happening.
It was actually an exciting set to work on, especially going back to the original series and doing all the research to find out what they used, and it was very 60s, so we had to try to incorporate that with our new era movie.
You know, when you look at the original series, you see a lot of ingenuity and awesomeness, and I love those sets, but, you know, they're like built out of little thin pieces of wood and cardboard. The materials and the techniques that we have to build sets these days, you know, we can't help but make things more exciting.
Here we are at the Enterprise. We're in the process of building it. As you can see, it's loud and there's dust flying and sparks flying and things coming and going. So I'll just give you a little tour. This will be where the front helm is. So it's styled after the original series. We have steps down into the pit. And the front helm will be here where Zulu and Chekhov were in the original series.
Here's a bit of work we're doing on the Enterprise. The Enterprise is going to be revealed soon. And yes, raw plywood, as you can see, that's how it starts. These are actually CNC frames that they're stapling together, and eventually there'll be lenses in behind there. There are more lights and they're parts of the consoles.
So you can sort of see a bit of like what we have to do to get the mechanics of this console, which has electronics and monitors in it. You know, there's all these pits that we have to do.
We're doing a lot of powder coating metals and CNC pieces and 3D printed bezels, and it's technology that they couldn't even have dreamed of back in the 60s when they were doing the original series. So that's kind of exciting.
Here's another piece of the puzzle. This is our fantastic masterpiece console that will be featured in front of the captain's chair in the Enterprise. It's almost done, the steel work. There's obviously a ton of buttons to go on and little lights before it will make its way to the studio. It's almost ready for powder coating. Powder coating is a type of paint where you actually electrostatically bind the paint onto the steel. That way you can actually get a thicker coat of paint, which also has very, very nice and deep tones.
We're just starting to put in the smaller pieces and the monitors. The guys are putting the ceiling pieces in. Keep going, guys. No, keep going. Don't stop the machine.
You see behind there, we are also building a new Enterprise turbo lift. And these are the parts that also are going to get powder coated, just like this will be. And it's ready to get shipped out, as you can see.
Over there is the turbolift entrance, which is in the same kind of positioning as the original series.
This is our big spray booth. This is where a lot of the parts come to get the final finishes before we send them out to the studios. The funky piece behind me with the steel is actually our Enterprise turbolift ceiling. You're looking at the back right now.
The ceiling raises and lowers. This is in the up position right now, but it will come down. The classic orange railings are yet to come.
You see some railings there. They're getting polished beautifully because also those are going for powder coating and they're part of the Enterprise Bridge.
So there'll be 4 of them coming here.
Over here we have just the top of the railing. That's the wood part that will go on there. It will be epoxied eventually and it will be beautiful orange and there will be a nice, beautiful light strip inside it.
The colors have been a real challenge. I've been really drawing from the real colors, but when you go back through Canon, that reddy orange, there's so many different reddy orange.
It was scripted, I think, originally as orange, then the renderings came out, it was red, so there was a back and forth. Some people still think it's orange.
We've actually gone to like the archives of CBS to get the exact red, which is this orangey red, and trying to mix that color and find that color has been like a huge effort just to get that right.
Orange, really? Yeah.
I knew the Enterprise was being built, and I had started peeking at early construction, and then I was like, yeah, no, I want to wait. I want to wait.
Captain on the bridge.
And then walking on and seeing the attention that was paid to history, and yet the art of dating it.
I really felt like I had to draw from TOS because of our timeline, but I also had to bring it into our world.
Anyone who loves the original Star Trek loves the Enterprise. The challenge of Tamara and her team taking the spirit of the original and also updating it in a way that made it feel of the present was really phenomenal.
There are so many nods, so many things that we've just taken directly out of the original series, like the thing they hold on to in the turbo lift, and the way the computers are, and Spock's station, and what was Uhura's station, and the captain's chair.
I had to say the captain's chair is so much more comfortable on the Enterprise.
You know, the original captain's chair has wood on it, which is very weird in a bridge, but we went with that. We added actually a little bit more wood, just because I thought that was a real nod to canon, and there's a beauty to that. It makes me think warm and fuzzy thoughts about Captain Kirk, which we all love.
Bioscanners report.
We sort of replicated what's in the arms. For Spock's station, we I don't know what it's called, the visor that Spock looks in that nobody really knows what's in there. We jokingly talked about, well, are we going to see what's in there? No, we're not going to see what's in there because we don't want to give that away either. But we're making it.
No other vessels in the area, Captain. All scanners show clear.
Where Zulu was, there's this other kind of visor, so we did our sort of version nod to that comes up out of, you know, sometimes Zulu had it and sometimes he didn't. We played with the buttons, those colorful buttons they had, which are so stuck in everybody's psyche that I was like, well, we have to do the colored buttons. So we're playing with the colored buttons and the layouts of the consoles, the general shape of the bridge, the orangey red railing around and the lowered levels and the levels. Those are all kind of within our world, and you know, we're kind of pushing it as much as we can.
I was so excited to build a bridge of the Enterprise. It looks beautiful and it looks very different from Discovery.
All Discovery crews accounted for on the Enterprise, Captain.
I got to introduce the Enterprise Bridge, and wow, that just, right? This is a big deal. There is a lot of stress involved in how do you bring on Captain Pike and Burnham and Saru
Commander.
onto the Enterprise in a way that is going to be emotionally impactful. Like, there's so many different places you can put the camera, particularly because the set that Tamara built didn't have a bad angle. So how do you bring them in?
Deck 1.
I decided on the lift doors open, and the three of them walk out.
Captain on the bridge.
And we're in a 3-shot, and then we pull back, and we're in a wider shot, and we continue to pull back, and now we see the whole bridge.
It's all yours, Chris.
She looks as good as I remember.
And I'm hoping that it feels like an iconic moment, because it's a big moment.
Welcome home, Captain.
Good to be back.
I cannot believe how many resources they poured into building the Enterprise Bridge.
Let's give her a spin.
That sound good to you, Mr. Spock?
Yes, Captain. Let us see what the future holds.
It was pretty great to see the characters wearing the original colors of their uniforms on that bridge.
Ready for warp, sir.
Hit it.